A large model Showman'S engine. This is part 21, still lots to do at it. In this episode I'm testing the shortened leather drive belt, painting the cast-in wheel lettering red and fitting the water lifter pipe. When the engine was rewired, it was rewired to use 6-volt bulbs, and this seems to work okay. I wanted the engine to be able to generate enough power to light the bulbs brightly and run slowly. And here the no load voltage is 90 volts when it's running slowly. Perfect. The generator gives 110 volts at 7.2 amps when it's running a bit faster. When the engine isn't generating, at such times when you drive it for instance, more illumination in the cab is required, because a Showman'S engine has a large canopy fitted overhead, and that's what makes it dark in the cab. Even in the workshop under the very bright video lights, it's still dark in there, and quite difficult to see the water gauge and other things. But not anymore, because I bought this. It's a rechargeable LED work light. It cost £28.95 via Amazon in May 2020, and it is the most perfect thing to light inside the cab of a traction engine. The brightness is fully controllable, and this stand is a work of genius. And if I push the two halves of the stand together, it just clips over the edge of my coal bunker. And here's a demonstration of the amount of light available from it, quite a lot. It's perfect for a video light, and it shows up the leaks on the water system. The gland on the pump needs some adjustment because the water's leaking there. It's also leaking from the bypass valve. The bypass valve is a drain cock type of thing, and as we all know, dribbling drain cocks are a major problem on steam engines. I'm going to dismantle the water bypass system because the pipe is a bit mangled up at the top. But I'll do that in another episode. At the moment, using a funnel, I'm filling the belly tank with water, just to make sure that my repair was successful and that it doesn't leak. And I'm pleased to announce that the repair is very successful, no leaking at all. Repainting the wheels yellow, using British Railways signal yellow, has been a major undertaking. And there's still quite a lot to do. I have to be very careful not to paint out the lining on the spokes. Time to let the paint dry on this section of the wheel. Now the compressor's pumped up again, I'm going to show you something interesting. Normally, with a small single-cylinder steam engine fitted with reversing gear, I would admit the steam and turn the flywheel over, but that's a bit dangerous on this thing. This thing's capable of breaking arms, removing hands and causing serious injury, so it's a good idea to keep my hand away from the flywheel and the motion. But with this engine, most of the time it starts by admitting the compressed air and just moving the reversing lever. A far safer way to do it. And now the time has come for a top tip, and it's a paint-related top tip. What you need is a block of wood like this one. This is a piece of scrap out of my box of scrap wood. Then you require a pair of scissors and some good quality cotton cloth. And here I'm using a rusty but good quality pair of scissors to cut a strip off the cloth. This is woodworking adhesive, and I'm initially going to use this to stick the cloth to the wood. It's important not to use too much of this adhesive, particularly on the front face, and that's the bit facing the camera. What I'm making is a paint pad, because I need to highlight this cast-in lettering in red paint, which would take a long time with a small paintbrush, but this is easy. I just charge the pad with some paint, putting plenty on but not too much so that it's pooling. It does need to soak into the cloth. The paint I'm using is Phoenix Precision Paint's Buffer Beam Red. It's really simple. All you do now is press the pad against the raised lettering that's part of the main wheel hub casting. Don't expect it to be perfect because the casting isn't perfect, but here you see the effect. It's very much quicker than using a paintbrush. It is, however, very important to get the right amount of paint on the pad. Initially put plenty of paint on the pad and let it soak in. Then all you have to do is go around all the lettering, just touching the pad against the lettering. What could be simpler? Well, apart from some of my girlfriends I had many years ago. Here you can clearly see how it works. It's very easy to do and requires no skill and no sign-writing talent. And when it's finished, it does look rather good, very effective. Flushed with success, I went to the other side of the traction engine and did the other wheel. Then all I had to do was throw the little pad away. So if I want to do any more of this sort of thing, I just make another little pad. Moving to the rear of the engine is a very important part that I've just fitted. This is the water lifter pipe, and the problem I had was I did not have a union to go from the water lifter inlet to the length of flexible rubber pipe that you put into the water that you want to lift. I've got quite a large box full of old water pipe fittings, but I couldn't find anything that fitted. I found one that was very close but wouldn't screw onto the fitting. In another box in the workshop I have quite a lot of old taps. Not water taps, I mean the type you use for cutting threads. And I found one that was exactly the same diameter and pitch as the thread on the fitting on the bunker tank. If I remember rightly, it said on the tap 3/4 BSF 20, which I assumed to be 20 threads per inch. So anyway, I used this, re-threaded the union nut that I had, and then to this union nut I silver soldered a ready-made heavy-duty hosepipe connector. And here it is, all connected up and working. That's about it for this episode. I can't do much more today. I'd just like to say, as always, stay safe, stay well. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back, making it unnecessary to comment that the videos are too short.